We have about 1/3 or 4,000 students of the district's population have decided to join this virtual academy, and that's K through 12th grade from every single school. In that process, it allowed us to focus on the number of staff, so we will have about 125 teachers from all across the district will be serving those students. So this is an exciting adventure, and that's what it is. It's going to be an adventure. We feel like we have a good plan in place. It's not really any different from in class in a sense, because you have your regular teacher, your homeroom teacher, and those people will be getting a hold of them actually next week. And once they get a hold of them, they're going to work them through the process of how to log on. All of our students have their devices, but there's some tricks as far as making sure you log on. Where do you go to once you log on? What are the next steps as far as making sure you're following the instruction? The difference is our teachers have moved into a little bit of a different role now. They're going to be more like facilitators, because the teacher, the curriculum is what's running the learning. And we have two pieces. It's Ed Minimum is what we're using for high school, and Calvert's for elementary. There'll be times where our teachers are live, where they're working with it for a whole group. They're doing a Google Meet with their entire class, or they may be pulling out small groups, an individual. Notice you're struggling here. We want to make sure you're back on track. And we're monitoring constantly whether our students are, first of all, just logging on. That's going to be a little bit of concern. And two, their attendance is not just based on logging on. It's based on completing and working on their assignments. And that's how we're going to continue to monitor and adjust our instruction and hopefully our kids will be successful that way. The school day is almost identical to all of our elementary and high school. We start at 8 o'clock, or 8:15 is the actual time for our students, and they end at right around 2:45, 3 o'clock. So their days meshed in, so there's not work at night. Now, granted, if you don't finish your assignment, that's kind of homework for you. You keep working on it. But the teachers will be working with them at the same time during that school day, so we want them to have that operation where it's not kind of a free-neely where it's all over the place, but it is an actual work day. They have so much time designated per subject, and they're working through it. Students will be able to apply to go back and forth from the in-class learning or the other one at the end of the semester. But the plan is for the full year, and again, for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to take them a while to get adjusted and used to a virtual program, and two, staffing is determined by how many students are in each area. So to have a large influx of students come this way or go a different direction, it really upsets that apple cart for how you're trying to meet the staffing needs or the staffing ratios per school. We have a significant number of special education teachers because there's going to be some resources that are going to need to be provided. We have students that have some disabilities. We have some that are even considered self-contained that are going to be served through this program. So there's a lot of resources poured in. We have a social worker that's working with us. Our school counselors will be working with it, but they're going to be assigned to the building. Since we have no student bodies here, there's no reason for our counselors to sit here, but they're still going to be working in close connection with our students. I think all of us are in charge of pouring in resources to make sure our kids are staying on task and showing the growth that we need. I think we ordered about 1,600 hotspots, and maybe a couple weeks ago, 700 or so had already been issued or parents had applied for and received. So we're putting those in the houses and where there's a need. So there's no reason they should not be able to have access and to be able to stay as a virtual student. We're still offering the child nutrition program, but we're not delivering it as we did through the e-learning process. We will have 4 different schools, 2 middle school, 2 elementary, that are somewhat centrally located, that parents, through an application, if you apply and you're on the free and reduced program, or if it's simply you want to take part of that lunch, the child nutrition program, you can go and pick them up at designated hours, both your breakfast and lunch. And it's a hot lunch, and we want to make sure our kids get served as much as possible. I think we're kind of breaking history a little bit, or we're starting history even. This is going to be new. It's going to be different. It's going to take a little while to get adjusted. But I've heard Mr. Wilson say several times that virtual schools are probably here to stay. Now we've had virtual schools in the past, and we've had schools that are larger than this one. This is 4,000 students, but this is unique as far as who's applying, who's joining a virtual school, and what were the reasons for. And I know there's usually a vast variety of reasons why people felt comfortable in going this route. But it's going to be around for a while in some form or fashion. People are feeling this is maybe a safer place. Maybe it's part of that school choice approach. Whatever reason, we know that we're going to have to continue pushing. This is not something we're putting a Band-Aid on for learning because of the virus. This is something that we're starting a new direction, and I think you'll see for a long time. This generation has mastered the art of online education. That's not something I'm comfortable with, but our students are, and we have a lot of teachers that are great at pushing that, and they've been through that themselves. I think we were going this route early on. The virus probably expedited it because we had a lot of our students continue to look for different approaches to education. One of the things that's probably will continue to drive this is the teacher shortage we kind of ran into the last couple of years. Well, this is one way you can address that need, and I think we'll see some more examples come from that. I think the way they've looked at it, if we have 5 virtual students from 7th grade one out and 5 on in, that's probably easy to switch. But otherwise, it's you're on a waiting list, and I think it's slowly closing down that this is school. We're ready to start. Trying to get that dynamic of who these parents are and students are moved over to a different platform has been a challenge. We've sent out a large email just recently letting people know some points, and then I think it's going to really come down to the most important way of communicating with their folks as a teacher. And so as a teacher has their own classroom, their list, they're going to be making those contacts, because some of the means we've done things in the past are just not there available for us anymore. So I'm curious to see our success, and excited too that it's going to be more reliant on those individual teachers reaching out to them. We can put out a big phone message and stuff, but we want that individual contact from our teachers. We had a wonderful orientation with our staff that I had a chance to meet 125 people that I didn't know who they were just this week, and we kind of compared some notes and looked at who are the staff that will be serving our students. It was interesting enough that you have a few people that are just, and maybe we call them millennials, but they're folks that they have done online. They may have done online classes all the way through college. They're comfortable with it. That's the wave of the future. They're just excited about it. They came over. We also have some that have some serious health concerns, and they live with some people with some serious health concerns. And as much as they love teaching, as much as they love being around kids, this is a very scary time. And so they felt they needed to be over here. And then we have some others that, I'm sorry, we still need more teachers. Anybody interested in coming? And some of them were just, I'll go. It's a new thing. I'll try it. I'm interested. And a few of them, please don't make me. But it's different. It's a different day. And although some were told to, I can tell you right now that I think we have the entire staff is ready to just jump in, and they realize that we're here for different reasons, but the number one reason we're here is for making sure our kids, the education process doesn't have a hiccup in it. I'm a product of T.L. Hanna and a long time ago, and it's interesting to come back here. And one of the most special things had happen to me was the first day as our staff came by, I had a teacher come up and introduce herself to me, but she didn't really have to introduce, because it's someone that 41 years ago I walked out of high school saying goodbye to. Now I get to see them again and working with them again. That's a pretty special feat. We have a banner that people can follow us with us. It's A5, the number 5, A number 5 virtual, and you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.